Alright, we're going to learn how to make an animated GIF today using Photoshop. So first thing we need to do is make a new file. And I'll leave it up to you what size you want this to be. Usually the default thing is fine. I just went with document. You can go document type, go web, or you can go maybe film video is the best one. You know, it doesn't really matter. You can choose your size. So hit OK. And we start out with something like this. And down here, our background by default is white. So that's fine. There's a few ways you can do this. Either you can draw each frame from scratch every time. Or you can draw it once and then copy and duplicate it and then change it a little bit from there. So I'll show you real quick the duplicating way, but I prefer to draw it each time. So here I go to my paintbrush and I choose the color I want it to be. So I'm just going to keep this simple, make it black with white background, you know, something like that. So what are we going to draw? Christmas themed. Oh, how about just like a shining star? Something easy for now. So I'm going to draw a star like this and have some shiny things coming off it. Alright, so there's frame number one. Now I could go over here and right click and choose duplicate layer and hit OK and then do that, you know, a bunch of times till I have 6 frames or however many I want. And this way I could go to each one. I could go to the eraser tool. Before I do this, I need to hide the other ones, or else I'll show you what happens. So I can erase that, and then I unhide it, and it's still there on the other one. So I'm going to erase all these, and then go back to my brush and draw them back in a similar spot. And it does erase the white background too, but since it's all going to end up white anyway, that's not a big deal. Okay, then I go to this one, go to the eraser, erase those, and then go back to the brush and draw in some new ones. Okay, so that's how I would do it if I wanted to duplicate most of the stuff and only have to redraw parts of it. Instead, I'm just going to make a new one here. If you prefer to draw each one, I think it tends to look a little bit better if you do it this way. Let's make this bigger. Okay, then I'm going to make a new layer. And then I'm going to try and draw the same thing. Wait, let's put those on here. Okay, I'm going to try and draw the same thing on the new layer. But when I do, it's hard to tell what I'm doing because they're the exact same color, right? So I'll undo that. Go to the background, unlock it, change the opacity down. And now I can go to layer 1 and try and draw over it. And this will give it the effect like it's wiggling a little bit each time, right? Because there's no way I can draw it exactly where the original one was. But if I try and get close, then it'll look like it's wiggling each time. Make a new layer. Turn down the opacity on that one. Or I can just turn this one off. And I'm still seeing layer number 1. Draw that again. Okay, and then I do this 6 times. I'm just going to make 6 layers all at once. And each one that I draw, I will turn it off after I draw it. I turn it off and make sure and click on the layer that you want to draw on next. If I leave this selected, I'm going to be drawing on layer 5, which I finished already. So I'll move to 4. And I'm getting kind of sloppy here, but that's alright. Turn that one off, move to layer 3. Alright, now I have all my layers done. If I wanted to add color to it, I could go in and do that as well, but you guys can figure that out on your own. Okay, then the last thing I need to do is turn all the layers back on and go to this last one and turn the opacity back up so they're all at 100%. Okay, so we've got 6 different layers. Now, by default, by default, timeline's not even showing at all. Right? So the next thing we need to do is go up to Window, Timeline. That shows the timeline there. And by default, it has this thing, Create Video Timeline. We do not want a video timeline. We want a frame animation. So I click this little arrow next to it, choose Frame Animation. Now I click the button. And there's only one frame, and it has all the pictures in it. So we need to extend this so each layer is its own picture. So I go over here to the menu button for the timeline, make frames from layers. Now I have 6 frames. Okay, and right below that, it's going to play through all of these once. I want to change this so it does it forever. So it'll just keep looping. Now I can hit play. And you'll notice that only one of them has the white background. The rest of them are transparent, so that's why you kind of see a flash in there. But that's not going to matter once I convert it to a GIF. So now I hit stop. I go File, Export, Save for Web, Legacy. And for mine, the default format is GIF. I think for some of you it might be a PNG. So if it says PNG here, just make sure and change that to a GIF. Oh, we've got some presets up here too. So I don't know the difference between any of these. So if you've got transparency selected and you don't want the layers to be transparent, just turn that off and it'll change anything that was transparent into white. Then I can save this. Sparkly Star 2. Hit save. Alright, then we go to our desktop, we find our picture, and we right click on it, open with one of these web browsers. There we go. There's our animated GIF. Then you can upload that to Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and it'll play just like that.